Many new EV presentations lately, but now it's time for one of the big new combustion engine models. This is here the all-new generation of the Audi A6. We have it here as the A6 Avant, the Estate. There will also be a sedan later on coming. We will also show that to you. Most will of course be the same, but starting with the Avant model here, which is especially important in Europe, of course. And we'll show you the differences here to the previous generation, also the differences all-new A6 against the all-new A5, because that one has also grown in length. What are still the differences? And also about this naming structure I'll talk about later, because just 2 days ago, this was supposed to be named A7, but now it's the A6 again, which is, I think, a good choice. More about that later. Let's now focus on all the details with Thomas Autogefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go with the new front. And you can see a wide grille, this here the S-line, so you also have these lying L-forms. In the base model it would be more like a honeycomb design. And you can see this is the additional black pack, so you have the rings in the dark form. Standard would be bright Audi rings, which I would actually prefer because then you can see them better. Here they kind of dissolve a little bit into the front grille. The S-Line, of course, adds sporty accentuations across the vehicle, soon more to that. They have worked on the aerodynamics of this vehicle, 0.25 for the Avant here, for the Estate. And you can see the channels here. They lead the air through, and also some optimizations throughout the vehicle. The headlamps here, standard LED or optional matrix LED. Interesting, this very small grid design here on the inside, and then you can pick different light signatures if you like. And the turning indicator is also cascading then when you have the matrix LED. In the rear we'll also find OLED, soon more to that. This color here is called Madeira Brown, and well, Madeira, the island, I more connect with. It's just a beautiful island, been there a couple of times, and like blue ocean and maybe like the flowers, the blooming flowers, like really colorful. Maybe it's more taken from this, isn't it Portuguese? Madeira is called wood. Maybe our Portuguese viewers can shed more light on that. Then here the wheels, 18 to 21 inch, and these are the 21-inch wheels, the largest ones available here, also with a Michelin Pilot Sport. And interesting, they have even foam at the inside of the tires, because different measures here to bring down the noise level. They said they have improved the noise level while driving by 30%. That's massive, and it was a silent vehicle before. So soon when we can drive this one here for you, we'll tell you all about how less noisy it is even now in this new generation. The length is at 4.99 meters, so roughly 5 meters or 197 inches. That has grown like 6 centimeters or 2 inches, not too much, not like a huge difference or something like that. And you can see here the Avant with the roof rails, and they have stretched this rear, so it's more a shooting brake design now. You remember that Audi used to be more Bauhaus design, more boxy design. This is a more central design. Also here how the doors are rounded here. More actually in the direction of a Mercedes E-Class, honestly. But here definitely this shooting brake stretched design here. This is different. Let's see if we still have a lot of space on the interior, if this is somewhat like a compromise with the interior space or something like that. Interesting that on the technology side, this is also one of the main aspects if you compare it to the Audi A5, because lengthwise, because the Audi A5 in the new generation has grown so much, the difference is now only 16 centimeters or 7 inches in length. However, the main differences are on the technology side. So this one here features base suspension, sport suspension, minus 20 millimeters, but then optional adaptive air suspension is not available for the A5. And this, of course, gives you this really sophisticated ride. Also improve for the aerodynamics, because when you are in dynamic mode or when you drive faster, the car lowers itself, but it also has a lift mode, maybe for bad roads or something like that. And another technology highlight is the rear axis steering. Then the rear wheels can turn in the opposite direction than the front wheels, reducing the turning circle by 1 meter, because it can go up to 5 degrees in the opposite direction. And the threshold, the speed threshold, is 60 kilometers an hour or 37 miles per hour then in that case for the rear axis steering. Above that, it would steer in the parallel direction for a little bit more stability. Completely new rear, and this is also where the A6 is really different to the A5 Avant, how it's now called. Soon, as I said, more news to the nomenclature. So what the designers want to do is here that the rings look upward. You know, this is what's one of the design goals here, and that's why this area is also so round. And in this case, it's also like almost like a natural lengthenment of this falling roofline. Here for the aerodynamics, long spoiler, and here also these side elements, because for aerodynamics, it's always the best when the car looks like a raindrop, basically, and it's also really long here in the rear. What do you think about this new rear? Tell me in the comments, because this is the most significant thing from design. From the front, A5 and A6 is not too different. In the rear, definitely way much. Then you have this split tail lamp design. So in the top part, you have these OLEDs, organic LED. They seem to be alive somewhat. They also mirror here themselves when you go a little far away. It's just like one layer, but then here when you look down there, that's very interesting. And then second strip underneath goes all the way through. If you hit the turning indicators, they are cascading here in the outside part. And what's also interesting is that this middle strip here, it is a dark color. That's why you might think this is a black strip, but no, this will be in vehicle color. So if you think you take this one in a bright red color, then this middle strip will also be in bright red, for example. That's also very interesting. There are more light features here. So first of all, let's see if we can induce that. There is this proximity light, if you went for that. So in the highest tech package, you get then the matrix LED and the OLED together. And let's see, if we are both maybe in the sensor area here, let's see, then you have like this this effect that the car shows, hey, you're getting too close to me. What I can also show to you is when I get in the vehicle and then hit the brake light. So there we go, that's the brake light, and it appears in the lower part in a vertical way. That's very interesting, also interesting design choice for sure. And we also have these warning triangles here. 4. They also mirror a little bit when you come closer to the lower part. This is another thing of communication to the outside world. This is a pretty fancy idea, isn't it? And then you have a new honest design for the exhaust tips. So the Autogefühl fake exhaust police is out of business now for the all new Audi models, because this is the real exhaust tip from the 6-cylinder, by the way. I can already tell you right now, a 6-cylinder is confirmed already for the base model. You don't have to go for the S model to get a 3-liter 6-cylinder. That's cool, right? And then this diffuser style in the lower part. Let's take a look under the hood. So there will be more engines available later on. I also expect plug-in hybrids, but they start with some base engines, a 2-liter TFSI, 2-liter 4-cylinder, and the 2-liter TDI. And the TDI gets also the so-called MF Plus system in Europe. So it's an extensive mild hybrid system. The 2 base engines, 204 horsepower, the petrol with front-wheel drive only, the diesel front-wheel drive plus all-wheel drive, and then this one here also available directly from start, 3-liter V6, 367 horsepower, 4.7 seconds in the acceleration figure. And this one also gets, in Europe, this MHEV Plus system. Then you can have up to 25 kilowatt recuperation, for example, and also some electric moments when you're like maneuvering around while parking in a very slow speed and so on. The all-wheel drive system here is the Quattro Ultra system, so it's a front-wheel based system, also power ascent to the rear wheels. The rear axle can be completely uncoupled for efficiency reasons. However, when you really hit the throttle, then also more power can be sent to the rear wheels, up to 30-70, so more than to the rear wheels than to the front wheels. And we tested it with the A5. Yes, it's not the classic Quattro anymore. However, it works quite well, that you don't feel like a front wheel bias when you accelerate out of the corners and so on. And interesting to know, yes, indeed, this is not the S model. I do expect the S model also with the same engine, but then maybe like with the 450 horsepower tune or something like that. In this time, something funny happened. You see here, this car is called A6. Naturally, you would say, but nowadays in the automotive industry, strange things do happen. You maybe saw that last year when Alfa Romeo was launching the Alfa Milano. They did the world premiere, launched that name, and after that there was an Italian politician saying, you can't name it Milano when it's not built in Italy. And then they didn't want any lawsuits and so on and so on. And they said, yeah, okay, we just rename it and name it Alfa Junior. Never happened before in that way. Pretty extreme, I would say, to name a car like completely different after the launch. Here it was a little bit different actually, because this car was supposed to be named A7, but now it's named A6 again, which is to me the more logical choice. But what's the background story? So Audi wanted to reorganize the names according to electric and non-electric. So the electric model is supposed to have the even numbers and the combustion engine models the odd numbers. And then they said, okay, then the electric A4 is the A4 e-tron and the combustion engine A4 is now the A5. That's why it's now called A5 Avant and A5 Sedan. Although the new A5 is an A5 Sportback and an A5 Avant, it's somewhat unlogic, and also the marketing stuff went now, the all-new A4 is now the all-new A5, and everyone's like going like, whoa, what's happening? So what I have done is call the A4 Avant, still A4, and then say A5 Sportback, because it has the fastback opening. That would be a logical choice maybe. But they will keep it that way for A4 and A5. And here with this vehicle, they said, yeah, okay, the combustion engine model of this size is then the A7. So this should have been then the A7 Avant, and the sedan form would have been the A7 Sedan. And it doesn't make so much sense, you know what I mean? And then they also got the customer feedback from the A4, A5 launch, and also the markets wanted to keep this A6 naming. And then they said, the hell with that. We stick with the old names. So there's the A6 e-tron as the electric model. This is the A6 Avant, and then there will be an A6 Sedan. That only leaves that there's no A7, and no successor is planned for that one yet. Sad to see, definitely, because I love the A7, one of my favorite Audi models. If there will be a successor, because you see nowadays in the automotive industry, things can change really quickly, then of course we'll keep you updated here on our channel. But definitely I think it's the right decision to go with the A6 naming here. Or what do you think about that? Exterior S-Line you see here with that badge, and there will also be interior S-Line, but to access the interior you need the key. There's a nice key fob here, does the job definitely. Then the door hands, you grab them in here, but you don't have any physical feedback here, just like a field. And then we have another upper class feature here, which is not present in the A5. Here you can order a soft close, but nevertheless check out the door closing sound, which sounds really solid like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But also for the rear doors, of course, in this case you don't have to slam them, because also for the rear you have the soft close right there. Then let's check out this S-Line interior as well. So here this is like somewhat structured material, but it's not too soft, honestly. You have here a bright contrast. You can also get it in all black, that's possible. Ambient lighting integration, you can change the color, and it's going all the way here in this round theme. Bang & Olufsen sound system, you can get it with different speaker setup, but it's pretty cool, I can tell you so far. Big black setup here as well, one button, hashtag capacitive BS, memory set. Individual buttons would be better, I feel. Here a 3D structure introduced with the Bentley Continental in the corporation, also A5 has it. And here, this is where I need some fabric from the inside. S-Line. Oh, yeah. Puddle light you have as well. And then the S-Line entry sill badge right here. And you also have an S-Line steering wheel. The base steering wheel would be like with a more open spoke design. And the Audi rings are now two-dimensional. You cannot really feel them like the inside, like the inside would be three-dimensional in the previous generation. Here it's more like a two-dimensional style, but they still look good. And here once again this black panel design, it has nice clicking sounds, yes, but it's one button for everything, basically. Okay. And then the seats, there are normal seats, there are sport seats and sport seats plus, but these are the normal sport seats. Here see also like this stamped in S logo, and they already have like, like a nice shoulder form, for example. Material-wise, in Europe at least, you get fabric seats and also Dynamica microfiber. This is here a mix of animal material and leatherette. And I think it's not the right approach because, for example, most other manufacturers and also the most sold cars nowadays say, hey, like a high-grade leatherette with a great quality, perforation, even with seat cooling, is the best solution for everyone. Basically, they are most comfortable, you can wipe them clean and so on, functional. Yeah, I mean, Audi is too much complicated. Like the customer logic is too complicated when you configure a vehicle. And now you say like, okay, either you have to pick animal material, and if you don't want it, you have to go for a fabric seat. And I think it doesn't make any sense. Then here, the headroom, well, -89, 6 foot 2. Still a lot of headroom left, no problem. And this is also a fixed panoramic roof. And I will let Leah show what special feature this one has, because, little spoiler, it is electrochrome. You cannot open it though. This, by the way, this comfort entry function, so that the steering wheel moves up first. When I would close the door, it would go down, and also the seat goes forward. Then they can, have this driving position. The steering wheel at Audi is always like rather slim. BMW rather goes like for this, thicker approach basically. But I have very good grip, and usually in the past test drives, I also feel that the Audi always has a very good steering feedback. This is also something they worked on here in this new generation. They say that that this car is supposed to be like maneuverable even better. We can of course see more about that when we drive it very soon. One more detail here, by the way, here there's a small cubby hole. It does fall down. It's not dampened though, but this would be maybe for your parking ticket or for your coat. Welcome to this cockpit here now. Yes, somewhat similar to the A5 and the Q6 e-tron and the A6 e-tron, the electric model. But some things are different. Zoom out of that. First of all, screens in your face, 12-inch, 14.5-inch, 11-inch with the middle tech package already. Then you get the passenger display. Otherwise, when it's off, or you see here, also collects a lot of fingerprints already. So here, when you don't have that in the base version, it would be a black panel. That's a problem as well, definitely. Other than that, you can play around with it if you need that actually. Here, the dashboard is also like somewhat structured, some stitching on there, and there's like this huge black panel design. Other than that, you can make the seat a little bit longer. That's cool actually. Glove box. There's like a emergency switch because we have the prototype vehicle here, but this is also properly dampened already, so the overall build quality looks good. Here also nice with the wood, and there's like another element here with like some leatherette wrap, so that's actually cool. And this also differentiating the A6 to the A5. Nice ambient lighting integration. You can pick the colors also here from the inside, from the cup holders. Good quality for the cup holders as well. Just this high gloss black thing. So I feel they use too much high gloss black, and you also give us the feedback, we give it to them. They now say, we heard that, but it's too late to change it. So this will be something that will be for the next vehicles, which they hopefully then consider. But yeah, this covering here from both sides with wood then here, and then also with the leatherette patch for the knee. It's like the main differentiation thing, A6 to A5. However, my knee is rather here at the wood thing and not at the lower part. But this definitely looks nicer, no matter. And here, the armrest can be controlled in height. Underneath, more space. Charging is all the way in the front. Here with 2 USB-C chargers and ventilated inductive charging pad. That's also important. Still a manual volume knob and an integrated shifting lever. And you switch the drive modes here, drive select. Click them through here. In dynamic mode, the car will also lower the air suspension a little bit. If you have the air suspension, you maybe hear it also that the air suspension is pumping down now because I'm in the dynamic mode. It's pretty nice, by the way. Recently with the A5, I discovered there's a digital garage door opener you can configure in the infotainment system. You can clone your hand garage door opener device and also set a geolocation that when you go to the basement garage, you come there, you arrive there, and the gate automatically opens. That's actually pretty fancy. Here, the Audi steering wheel, as I said, always a little bit slimmer, good grip around, so you have a sporty feeling in that. But definitely, when you sit in the cockpit, do you immediately realize it's different from the Q6 e-tron, A6 e-tron, or the A5? Nah, they're all more or less the same now as for the cockpit layout and stuff. Driver POV, once again here, what's very important, clicking sounds, and when you press and hold the favorite button, then you can also individualize it and, for example, set this one to the like speed limit warning. Then you have to just click this one once. Then the digital instruments, you can also change them a little bit around with the view change here. Interesting is that here the RPM meters on the right lower side where no one expected, and this is just another signalization of speed, but there will be a software change upcoming where then once again have this RPM meter. We gave them that feedback and you as well. And you can also get a head-up display. Main infotainment system, I see a problem here with this, this really large area here, because it's supposed to rest your hand on it and then control the climate unit, but then it's really hard to do that with the hands with the right spread. This would be the most suitable solution probably, but sometimes you don't really, it's hard to reach, so I think it could be made better definitely. This is by the way for seat heating and so on. And the menu itself is more or less self-explanatory. It's also quick enough. Here by the way you can also go with exterior lighting and then change the different light signatures here from the inside. That's also a fun thing definitely. And Apple CarPlay, Android Auto with a wide integration. Now it's Leah's turn to show the electrochrome roof. So in the front you can control it, and then you can see this shade here, and you can either do it as a full curtain like this, so closed or open, or you can also stop it in the middle or just go like segment per segment. So this is both possible. This is to block out even more sun rays from the outside. And this here is a real control button. It's not capacitive, this one here at least. And we also have these interior handles, 4 all over the vehicle basically, so everyone can hold on tight. Rear seats, first of all, inside of the doors we have the shade here. That's nice, manual shade. Also nice structure, everything here. Bright contrast, this 3D stamping, but no fabric on the inside, also on the rear. As for the ISOFIX child seats, there's ISOFIX on the passenger seat. I feel that here it has top tether from behind and ISOFIX each at the rear. You can slide these here open for the ISOFIX attachment. Bright styling then here, in this case color styling. 2 USB-C chargers in this middle console. And the climate unit, that is basically, you can also slide the temperature here, taken from the previous generation. But yeah, I mean, it's a competitive solution, but for that it's actually quite nice. Large middle tunnel because of that, all-wheel drive. Naturally, I also soon test if the 5th seat can be used. Put down this here, good solid build quality. Also here the cup holders, ski hatch is available, and this being the Avant, and we also have the optional panoramic roof here, as I said. Yeah, to the middle is no problem. As we headroom to the side, it gets a little bit closer than with 189 6x2. These are small touch lights here, by the way. Yeah, and then the thing about the knee room. So this segment here has, let's say, a chronic disease. Same with the BMW 5 Series Mercedes E-Class. It doesn't have much legroom, considering its exterior length. If you consider now the difference between A5 and A6, this is the difference. In the A5, I sit like this. And in the A6 here, I can put a hand in front of my knees. But only again, if I'm driving, I'm a tall person. That's why when you're like 175 millimeters, something like that, you will have more legroom naturally. But the thing is that the usage of space in the length is not like that good, but it fits with 4 tall adults and maybe 5, maybe so. Yeah, it's a little bit stiffer in the middle part, maybe for short journeys. So the boot volume is different if you have the mild hybrid system or not. Northern American market, for example, will not get the mild hybrid system. Then you have 500 liters of boot capacity, otherwise 470. I'll show you what's the difference very soon. However, it means it also is a liter loss in comparison to the predecessor, because obviously you have the sexier design on the outside. That means less boxy, but then also some liters less, but still well usable. Look at that. First of all here, seen that here, this one automatically goes up and down together with the hatch. Also nice that we have here like an stamped in Avant lettering here on this grip handle here. This is actually quite nice, so good solution. Then we also have these remote folding seats, left and right. Cabin trolley also fits in vertically. This is, by the way, not the MHEV battery, that's underneath here. This is here the battery charger for the 12-volt battery here in the studio, that the car doesn't die on us when it's running with lights like the whole day and so on. And here underneath, so this is the MHEV model, and that means there's not much space underneath. So in the non mild hybrid model. Then you would have more space underneath right there. This one can also be put up like this, but it only makes sense if you have the storage space here underneath, most obviously. Then the width here is more than a meter, so like more like 1 meter 10 almost, like here even between the wheel arches. The length here is about 1 meter 20 or 47 inches, and here of course always good with the estate. So this is almost 70 centimeters or 27 inches. And the total length, it's a long vehicle. Into the seats here as we are driving is about 2 meters or 79 inches. So that's very well usable. Pricing, this one here, have a German price already, 58,000 euros for the Avant here. And this is like 11,000 euros more expensive than the A5 Avant. Differences are, well, not so much in length because that's 16 centimeters, 7 inches difference only anymore. Here you can get the sophisticated upper segment features like air suspension, rear axle steering, soft close of the doors. This is like the main aspects which differentiates this A6 Avant to the A5 Avant. Very interesting to know, definitely. The price of the vehicle as it stands here right now with the 3-liter V6 and the Tech Pro package and so on, of course, you can almost double the entry price. I think we can probably calculate with something like that if we look at the existing pricing structure. We'll keep you updated with that as soon as more deals are on and when we can also drive this vehicle here. So yes, we have to see, especially in driving, how it does differentiate itself to the A5 with these more sophisticated driving features especially, and if it's really so much more silent, even just like Audi promises, this will be super crucial in the driving part. That was already very interesting to know. And also, I think it's a good choice that they ended up with A6 Avant as the naming for that. Or what do you think about that? Of course, competitors would be a Mercedes E-Class or a BMW 5 Series.